So there's no free debates, and you have to get up and choose a side right now. So if you are in favor of digital winning out in 2020, then all of those who are in favor have to move to this side of this hall right now. No, I'm not joking, this is serious. And the TV side stays on that side, and I want an aisle in the middle. Okay? Okay, so the first speaker for the motion is Monica Tata. Your time starts now.
So, if not for gathering today, how would most of us will be spending our Friday evenings? Rendezvousing with our friends or family? Escaping on some weekend getaway? Shopping in malls, or simply relaxing in front of a TV? What I'm trying to say, that when thinking of the top forms of entertainment in our country, if not for insane relatives, TV tops the charts. Its extent and appeal are so huge that nothing else matters. Old school, but TV is undoubtedly the king of media, still rocking the show. The most important association with TV is habit. Over the years, a strong habit of watching TV has been built among people. You may come back from work, you watch TV. While eating meals, you watch TV. Before sleeping, you watch TV. TV is an integral part of our daily routine. Softer aspects like habit establish television's long-term preference over any other medium, both for entertainment and definitely for advertising. Yes, I agree that the new forms of media like digital, social media have been very well received in the country and are growing healthily. But to say that they will become as big or even supersede television by 2020 is a far-fetched thought. It's like saying e-books will replace textbooks in schools, or jets will replace shatabdis, or online aartis will replace people going to temples. Come to think of it, I think the orchestration of all mediums will be a more symbiotic, a peaceful coexistence, if you will, with television continuing to dominate in an impactful medium for advertising. Now let me talk some facts. Total ad spends on television in 2013 were 136 billion rupees compared to 30 billion Indian rupees on digital, which means 5 times more revenue on TV than digital. 791 million people watch TV in India versus 214 million present on digital, which means 4 times more penetration on TV than digital. An average Indian spends 119 minutes watching TV compared to 28 minutes spent on digital, which means 4 times more engagement on TV than in digital. And TV accounts for 38% of the total ad pie, where digital contributes only 5% in the last 5 years, which means 8 times more contribution to the ad pie from TV than digital. Besides this, TV is known to be the biggest audience aggregator and influencer in India. 53% of homes have mobile phones, very few of which have proper internet experience the ads on. Less than 1 out of 10 homes in India have a computer or laptop, and only 3% have internet facility. Smartphones, tablets, other forms of digital media are less than 1% in the country. Coverage for the TV, on the other hand, is more than 75% in our urban India. When we account for community viewing, especially popular in rural India, this coverage will be even more, all of whom can experience ads while watching their favorite content. And this is all data as per the 2011 census. And in a consumer study conducted by Deloitte in 2013, 64% Indians said that watching advertising on television had more influence than him, or the most influence in them actually, followed by newspapers, internet and mobile. So it is fair to conclude that the spread of and the power of TV in this nation is huge. Now keep aside the current trends. When talking television, digitization cannot be amiss. The digital set-top boxes and the DTH players are changing the game real big. With the advent of digitization, the entire television industry is expected to become bigger and better. For that, we don't need to wait till 2020 actually, it's going to happen in the next 2 years. Let me give you 3 critical reasons. First, penetration. Digital broadcasting will ensure more penetration and coverage. With the mandates that have been set, as we all know, there is clear-cut vision for 100% digitized India in the coming years, which will make TV expand its reach to virtually every corner in the country. Wider geographical spread will garner more eyeballs. Rural expansions will be especially benefiting mainly for the popular FMCG consumer durable brands who spend a lot of money on advertising. Second key reason, engagement. Not only will there be more reach, but digitization will also facilitate more capacity, new launches, growth in regional space, high quality niche channels, greater transparency and power to choose. All this will ensure evolved content and hence a greater engagement level. And third, and last but not the least, effectiveness. The conjecture on targeted advertising will be answered with digitization. Advertisers will not only be able to reach mass, but also focused our audience owing to the evolved content and channel mix. Growth in regional, niche and premium space will enable effective marketing catering to specific tastes and needs. Given all these, deeper penetration, wider engagement and increased effectiveness, one can almost see digitization to enhance the television industry like never before. The ad spends and ad revenues will be higher. The natural growth of TV revenue will no longer be 10 to 11%, which we've been seeing for the last 5 years. When one accounts for the impact yet to come, these growth rates are expected to grow by healthy double digits in the coming years, in turn making its base even stronger. So even though digital media is growing rapidly now, we can re-emphasize that TV will continue to dominate till 2020 at least. So to sum up, television is the preferred form of entertainment and advertising in the country, being the biggest audience aggregator, engager and influencer for Indians. Second, with greater penetration, wider engagement and increased effectiveness, digitization will only make the television industry bigger and better. One can expect higher revenues and growth from television. Digital advertising is growing rapidly in India, definitely, but will not become as big as television for big brands at least till 2020. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Monica. That was very well timed as well and very convincing. Thank you. The digital team has an ace up their sleeve. They've actually chosen the medium to deliver their message. So we have a TV person. Go ahead, Vikram, you are first. Okay.
So, you know, when I used to debate in college, there used to be a time when you knew there was a debate you could not win. What did you do then? Either you made a lot of noise or you changed the topic. And that, Monica, is pretty much what your side has done, right? Because the original topic out here said, digital will never be bigger than TV. You changed the topic because you knew you could not win that, and you put in this till 2020 part. So, you know, at least all of us agree on one thing, that the path and the trajectory is for certain. At some point, digital is going to win. That even you have conceded by changing the topic. So at some point, digital is going to win. The only thing which we are really arguing about now for the rest of this evening is, when will the eventual digital victory take place? Will it be by 2020 or will it be a little after that? That we've agreed on that? Okay. Now, when it comes to the timing of this, if you look at country after country, a lot of studies have been done, and Punita is going to be talking about that at great length. In country after country, they are almost being able to predict a date, because digital revenues, and remember what are we talking about here, its importance to big brands. So digital advertising, digital revenue is growing at a much faster rate than television is. So there is almost mathematically, you can calculate the point at which it will overtake TV. And in country after country, they found it, and it's 2017. In some cases, it's already happened. In some cases, 2017. In some cases, it's 2018. So what we really are here to take a look at is what is going to happen in India, and at what point is digital going to really overtake television in India. Don't get me wrong, Monica, I have nothing against television. Hey, I work for a TV company. it's NDTV. TV is in both our DNA and in our name. So we get it. We get how nice TV is. But if you are really telling us that in the present date, everyone sits and relaxes in front of a TV, I'm not quite sure whom you're hanging out with. It's certainly nobody younger than 35 or 40, because ask them, they're doing something completely different. Even when they're watching Game of Thrones, and I know this is going to break your heart coming from HBO, even when they're watching Game of Thrones, you'd be horrified at the large number of them who are actually pirating it or getting it on digital media, watching it on that. They don't have to deal with any advertising. They don't have to deal with some of the censorship that you're doing. They're just watching it on digital media. So, you know, yeah, they're watching TV, but they're watching TV in a manner that is not the television content that you know of. And they're watching even television content in a digital media. The audience is moving. And eventually, as the audience moves, big brands will move with it. Yes, there will be sections of the country which will remain very heavily TV focused for the foreseeable future. But they aren't necessarily the audiences that all the big brands are going to be going after. And that's something else which Punita is going to elaborate on in just a couple of minutes. So clearly, you know, the winds of change are coming. I promise this is the last Game of Thrones allusion I'm going to make. You know, you keep on saying, you know, winter is coming. I think you need to recognize that digital is coming now. Within a year, 2 years, it's here, and it's going to win. CAGRs are very clear-cut, even if you look at advertising. We know what the CAGRs in television are. We know what the CAGRs in digital are. It's 28%, 30% for the market. And for bigger players, why is it that a company like NDTV, which is with its TV heritage, TV DNA, why are we betting so heavily on digital? It's because we are seeing digital advertising growing at 50% CAGR. For the last 5 years, 50%. And that's when the market was growing at 28.7%. It's before 4G came. It's before all of those other things have happened. Those are still to come. Broadband penetration is still to come. Yet digital advertising is growing at 50% CAGR for us. That's a trend which you can't really buck. I'm going to talk about 4 other factors that I think are going to completely accelerate the coming dominance of digital. Number one, what do big brands want? They want data that they can trust. They want data that they can rely on. Data that proves that when they are spending money in a particular area, that money is being wisely spent. Now, when they are putting that money on TV, what's the data they're getting? They're getting TAM-TRPs. Now, I'm not going to say much more about that, but you all know the history of it. Most people, including in the industry and in advertising circles, knows that there's a serious question about the reliability of that data. On the digital side, on the other hand, we can tell you who watched, when they watched, what they saw, what device they saw on, down to their names, addresses, and what they had for breakfast. But I exaggerate, but we'll get there at some point. So that's big trend number one. With data being unreliable on the TV side, it's going to give a fillip to digital. Number two, content consumption itself is continuing to change. And that is a trend which is only going to accelerate. I was talking about people downloading stuff on digital data and streaming it out. The way people are experiencing and their content and their data, including watching video, increasingly it will be on devices. And when that happens, that becomes the crucial audience that a big brand wants to get. The person who is watching that content with the purchasing power, seeing it on iPads, that's the second big thing which is going to happen. Number three, and crucial, don't rule out the crucial importance of targeted advertising. What is starting to happen on digital is watering holes are being built. In NDTV, for example, just the last couple of years, we've been able to build a gadget site. That's number one. Now, if you're a big brand, if you're a Samsung, if you're somebody trying to put out an ad, you put it on TV and shoot it out and hope that the right person is watching it. Or do you put it on a gadget site where somebody who is coming to buy a phone is researching which phone to buy, and at that time when you put it on an ad and you show it to that person, how powerful is that going to be? So that's the third major question that I think you have to look at. The extent to which targeted advertising is going to be delivered on digital media is something that big brands are really going to take to. And finally, because I'm running out of time, technology itself. If you look at everything that has happened in India in the past, India is sometimes slow to adopt to a technology, like telephones. We didn't have telephones 20 years ago. Well, tough. It used to be tough to get fixed line phones. When mobile came, look at how it changed. Technology is changing, and technology will continue to change when 4G coming and everything else that's happening. And all the technological revolutions will eventually wane more on the digital side than on the TV side. So for all these reasons, you had already had, I think, conceded that digital is going to win. But for these reasons and more that Punitha will outline a little later, it will win by 2020.
So Shailesh, I think Vikram has raised the temperatures a bit. He's also made some unkind remarks about how you are spending too much time